Welcome to the Bernat Blanket Stitch Along with Joanne, Week 1, Clue 1. Hi, I'm Kristen with GoodKnitKisses and I'm your knitting host. We'll be stitching along with 6 weekly mystery clues. Each Monday will be a new clue. You will need 7 balls of Bernat blanket yarn available at Joanne, both in the store and online. You'll need 3 colors, 2 balls of 2 colors, and 3 balls of 1 color. I'll be showing you 2 different 3-color schemes in just a moment. You'll also need a US 11 circular needle or 8mm and a 40-inch circular cord. Go ahead and get 2 of those. You'll need a few stitch markers, tapestry needle, and a measuring tape for a good measure. And Joann's even has, speaking of yarn, their own signature colors, so you can have fun customizing with lots of different options in Bernat blanket. As far as the video, I suggest watching the video first and then knitting along with me. If you want a teaser as to what it looks like, you're welcome to scroll along to the end and be surprised knitting along with me. Don't forget, I'll be available during the Mystery Stitch Along 6 weeks on the Facebook Stitch Along page, so post your questions and progress there. It's also a great place to meet others joining in on the fun. So head to joanne.com to get your supplies and learn more by clicking in the link in the video description below for the free pattern. Yes, it's a free pattern. All right, let's get started. For this project, we're going to need Bernat blanket yarn. We'll need 7 balls total, 3 in color A, we're using dark gray, 2 in color B, we're using light teal, and 2 in color C, which is almond. And we also are using Sonoma as an alternate for B. We'll be showing this in a sample. So you get bonus, you get 2 different colorways. You're also going to need a circular needle, a 40-inch cord, US 11, 8mm. You'll need a second set of circular needles for later on when we stitch this together in week 5. We're going to need some stitch markers, a wide-eyed tapestry needle, and you'll need a measuring tape. We are ready to stitch along on clue number 1. Clue number 1 has a 2-page little PDF here. This is the pattern. You can print yours off to make notes and tote along with you. It is complete with telling you all the things that we've gone over already with the materials. You're going to get into your abbreviations. They cover very basic beginner items so far in clue 1, so you'll be able to do this no problem, and I'll show you all the steps that you need. Now, when we move down here, you get the first clue. It's going to be approximately 50 inches by 64 inches for the blanket that you're going to be making. And the gauge. If you're not familiar with gauge, this is the measurement of how many stitches you get in an inch, or in this case, a 4-inch width here, or 4 inches down, how many rows that you get. And this is in stocking stitch. Stocking stitch or stockinette is where the right side is all showing knit stitches. So when you flip it onto the reverse or on the wrong side, you're going to want to purl those stitches so that they appear as knit on the front. You're going to want to make a 4-inch wide or wider swatch and 4 inches long and measure how many you have. If you find that you've got too many stitches in that 4-inch period, then you're going to want to move up a needle size. If you have too few, then you're going to want to move down a needle size to get your blanket to be this size. If you don't do that, your blanket will be off. So this is the importance of a gauge swatch so that you can get your project to the right size that it's intended. All right, so let's move on. I'm going to flip over to the next screen here, go into clue 1. Our instructions are we're going to make 2 strips. So we're going to start here with B and cast on 13 stitches, and we'll work our way through this first part. Okay, we're going to start by casting on. We're going to be using the same cast on method in all the videos that you'll see coming up. I want to make sure that my long tail cast on has enough of the tail to begin with. So I want to wrap around the how many stitches on my needle that I need to start with. You can also measure 3 times the width in order to get this, but when you don't know it, this is the other method that works. So I'm going to wrap around 13 times. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, whoops, 13. Okay. And then we want to put a slip knot in. You can also use no slip knot, which usually I do. I'm going to show you how to make a slip knot here. Make it any way you prefer. I wrap it around twice, put the back loop over the front, do that one more time, and make that slip knot here. Turn that around to where my tail is in the front, tail is toward, ball is behind. We're going to tighten that up a little bit snug. Now I wanted to talk about this yarn real quick. Yarn can kind of get caught on itself. Number one, roll the yarn from the outside of the ball. Don't pull it from the center, and it will come very nicely from there. Also, when we make the cast on, make sure your cast on is loose and not too tight. Otherwise, the width will be way wider than your cast on. So we're going to grab this tail here. Okay, the tail's in the front, the ball is in the back. Spread that out like this. Pull the needle back, and we're going to scoop up where the thumb is, and we're going to go down where this finger is, and then down through the thumb area again. And then we're going to tighten that up a little bit. So let's change the angle here. We're going to grab this in our hand here. I lock it in with my last few fingers, split it up at the top. We're going to pull back. We're going to scoop up where the thumb is and down where the finger is between this area, and then go down where the thumb is, and then let go of the thumb and kind of pull that a little bit tighter there. We're going to keep going. I've got 4, 5, 6. Keep going until you have 13, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, one more, 13. If that's too fast, just be sure and pause and rewind. And we're going to keep moving on here. You can see my cast on is going to be about that wide here. I'm just kind of pulling it out a little bit. If you pull and tug on it too tight, it can pop. So just be careful. It has a really nice hand to it once it's done, but be careful not to pull that too tight. Okay, so we're going to work on our first row. Our first row, row 1, says to knit the first stitch. So we're going to insert our needle into this first loop here between the first and second, and we're going to go through the front of this first leg of the stitch. It's like a cowboy sitting on top of there. So we're going to go on that leg of the stitch, wrap around our needle that's in the back, and pull that on through, making a loop on your new needle, and slide the old loop off. And there we go, we've got our new stitch here. And now we want to work on the next one. So this stitch is going to be purled. So we want to put our working yarn in the front. So we go between these two needles and have it go in the front. Now we're going to put our needle in the front of this leg here. So not between the two loops here, but in the front. Okay. Then we're going to wrap around that needle that's in the front and then push that on through to become a new loop. If you need to, just use the needles as a guide and kind of slide it through. And then you just pull the old loop off. It comes off really easily. And we're going to repeat that until we have one stitch. So it's knit 1, purl 1, all the way to the end when you have one stitch left. So we're going to put the yarn to the back again. If you don't put the yarn to the back, you're going to get a yarn over and you're going to increase your stitch count. So we're going to knit this one again. So put that needle in, yarn over, and pull it through and lift the old one off. Put that yarn to the front again and make a purl. We're going to purl that stitch, yarn over, push it on through. All right, so if you've already done this before, you know the drill. Just keep going, knit 1, purl 1 until you get to the end. We'll just keep doing this row together. And when you make this, it will be the seed stitch. And when we get on this row done, I want to show you how to mark the right side. Okay, so I've knit the last stitch. That was the end of my pattern. Knit that last stitch. I kind of pull it out so I can see my pattern. You can see where the purl bumps are more pronounced here. And what's going to happen is when we turn this over to work on the wrong side, we'll do the same thing we did before, okay? And so it will just alternate the look of that purl bump. So before we move on, go ahead and grab one of your stitch markers, and we're going to mark this as the right side. This is a removable stitch marker, and I'm just going to put it on one of these purl bumps that's already out here like this. And then when I turn it, I'll know that this was my right side and this is the wrong side. Go ahead and knit this up, and our pattern states that we're going to work the seed stitch until it measures 6 inches from the beginning. Okay, and end on a wrong side row. That means when this stitch marker is on the right side, which is on the back, and we're not looking at the stitch marker, when we end and finish a wrong side row, will be on this side here. So meet me back up when you've got 6 inches. See you in a moment. We have ended on the wrong side row, and we're right at 6 inches. We're going to break our yarn. You can cut it or you can break it. So just cut that out. And now we want to place a marker. The PM is place marker at the end of the last row. Okay, so I'm just going to, right on top of the stitch here, put my marker right here. And then we're going to turn it over and start our next row. The next row is with C. I'm using almond for my C. So I'm going to place this yarn back here and let it just kind of, I'm going to hold on to it. I'm actually going to hold on to both of them so it makes it nice and taut. It's not going to be too loose for me. And we're going to continue in a garter stitch, meaning we're going to knit every row. So just going to wrap around with the new yarn and pull it through and slide the old off and continue knitting. And these first several stitches, I like to keep holding on to the ones in the back just to keep it nice and tight. And we'll just knit across and then turn and continue knitting across. You're going to make a garter stitch, and I will show you what that looks like on our sample. So we started off with our seed stitch, and then we are now adding in our second color here. So this is contrast B that we started with, and we're working on contrast C. So continue in the garter stitch, and I will meet you back up when you complete 6 inches, ending on a wrong side row. See you in a moment. Okay, so clearly I've just done a couple of rows. I haven't really gotten to the 6 inches, but I want to show you what this looks like. So you have ended on a wrong side row, say you've got your 6 inches, and you'll notice that you have this color change here. Okay, so on the right side of your work where this little marker is, it's going to look nice and neat here, and you won't see that extra little bump. So you will see on the wrong side, you will see a little bit of where these colors overlap. On a variegated like this one, you won't see it as much. And you see how that's hidden a little bit. Okay, so depending upon your color choice, you may or may not see that. It still looks really pretty. Okay, so you're going to continue on until you have alternated in these. Let's look at the pattern. After you complete your garter stitch row, you're going to place a marker just like we did at the end of the seed stitch row. And you notice these two asterisks here. You're going to go all the way up here and continue. And you go back with B and knit in the seed stitch pattern until it measures 6 inches, again ending on a wrong side row, and you're going to repeat from the double asterisk to the double asterisk section down here. Okay, so you're going to repeat that twice more. Then you'll do it again with C and knit in the garter stitch until you are completed with making 8 blocks. So the strip will have 8 blocks, approximately 48 inches long, and we're going to cast off knitwise. This is knitways on the wrong side. All right, so I will meet you back up when I'm ready to cast off and show you what this looks like to finish up your first strip. See you in a moment. I have finished this area here where I measure 6 inches, ending on a right side row. So this is the right side or front side. When I flip it to the back, I would be starting a wrong side row, and this is where I will cast off knitwise or knitways. So we're going to knit the first 2 stitches, 1, 2, and all we do to bind off or cast off is lift this first stitch right here up and over the tip of that second stitch there. So we've got 1 stitch bound off, then we just knit the next stitch and keep repeating. And if you can't get to it because the bulk of the yarn, just pull down a little bit so you can feel that teardrop section there, and lift it up and over the edge and continue knitting all the way to the end and lifting that back stitch up and over until we have 1 stitch left for you to do, and I'll show you how to finish that off. See you in just one moment. Got 1 stitch left. We'll knit that just as we've been doing and lift that stitch up and over, and then we now got our last stitch. We're just going to pull that on through. Go ahead and cut your yarn and pull that on through, and then you're going to take this end here and weave it in with your wide-eyed tapestry needle, and you'll do the same with all the other strands that you had cut along the edge here. Go ahead and weave in all those pesky ends, then make a second one. All right, this is what you've been waiting for, the finished clue. So this is our first strip. You're gonna have 2 of these. This is that first color scheme there that's stated in the pattern. This is the one that I made, and whatever you made, and I can't wait to see yours. So be sure and go over to that Stitch Along page and post your progress. You put the hashtag GoodKnitKisses on there so that I'll see it, but also put hashtag handmade with Joanne so everybody can see it and we'll check it out. All right, so I can't wait to see you next Monday for the next clue. Have a great day and happy knitting and crochet. Bye.